Another segment of Local Biz Now. I love to say your business matters, and John, you matter to me so much. It has been such an honor to call you a friend of mine over the years.
You as well.
It might be because when you go to Cuba, you bring me back cigars, or it might be whenever I have any questions.
You're one of the few people I know that love cigars to an extent that they appreciate a good
Thank
Cuban.
you. It was a great box of cigars. You are this businessman in the area. People know you for this outspoken guy that really supports small business in the area. I know you as a very sharp, intelligent small business guy. So when I have
I think you're too much there, but okay.
Absolutely. when I get stumped on some questions or concerns, you're right there to help give me some advice on that. So thank you so much for being a part of the community. We really do appreciate it, my friend.
Well, I tell you what, I feel very fortunate, and I always say, I even tell my staff that it is so important when we get so much from the community, just living here and being here in this great community, that is incumbent upon us to give back, and we work really hard in our company to try and do that, to encourage our employees to do civic involvement, as well as I try to do my share to try and make things better for our community.
Right. Well, and now here's why I love talking to you, because you're in a payroll service.
Yeah.
So you have so much information and so much data that it's really hard for me to pull that out of you. So let me see if I can get a little bit. What does 2017 look like through your eyes as a payroll provider?
Yeah, and then let's set the stage that I am really talking day in and day out to the small business person, all right? The small business people for a number of years, as though the banking has came back or the stock market has came back, the little guy, as you hear, hasn't come back. Or I guess the best way to describe it, I remember, and I'll give credit to one of the newspapers that said it sucks a little less, and every year it just got a little better. We didn't have that hyper growth, but it is just getting better. And I got to be honest. I mean, I had enough real estate that I had a lot of sleepless nights myself.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, I don't feel like I got through it until the end of this past year.
Yeah.
I did my final refinancing, got through that. And I think what people don't understand when they think, well, what's the biggest regulation that really hurts the small business? We don't have OSHA on our back, and we don't have the EPA on our back, and those types of things that the big companies do. But if I had to narrow it down to one thing, it would be Dodd-Frank, because it limited the capital of the small business guy.
Right.
I always say when you have, as a small business owner, if you have $50,000 and you have $100,000 of debt, you don't keep that rainy day fund. You go out and get a line of credit, and then you take that $50,000 and pay down that debt,
right.
And you have a line of credit as your rainy day fund.
Right.
Well, what happened? The big banks, when this recession hit, a number of years ago, what did everybody do? They cut their line of credit, and it cut all the comfort.
Knees right out from under.
Yeah,
right.
It cut the knees right out, and it just scared a lot of people. And again, we are coming back from that now, but it's interesting. I remember in 2005, 2006, 2007, I remember cutting some amazing bonus checks at the end. I mean, I'm talking.
Right.
7 and 8 figure checks for bonuses.
And we're happy to do it.
And yeah, I'm thrilled because, actually I'm excited
right.
for the companies that I'm doing that for, right? You're excited to go,
right.
Man, this guy's winning, or this gal's winning, you
right.
know? And I just did not see that, or it got very, very few and far between in these past years. Now, I'm starting to see it uptick, and I think with this, the administration coming in today, I do see a lot of optimism from the business community along those lines,
right? Right.
And it's just as like I said, he's put a lot on his plate. He's got a lot he's got to do, or he promised to do, and that's going to be a challenge. But by the same token, there's a lot of room to really. There's a lot of run room that we could have if we could just get that growth fueled at the right level that it needs to be.
Right. I know the Gala is getting ready to start. One final thing. What has the Chamber meant for you and your business? Because I've watched you grow your business over the years, and I know the Chamber was a big part of that.
The Chamber's been an astronomical part of it, and we made a decision early on to really focus on this business community. And today, we process almost 1,000 payrolls in 40 different states. But the reality is they all are based in North Carolina or South Carolina, and they have employees elsewhere. But Lake Norman has always been our very strong market share and the people, and that all came from the chamber. That came from meeting belly button to belly button, one person at a time, and just going out there and doing a great job.
Yeah, and well, you are old school sales. I mean, that is.
We try to differentiate. Some of the there's a lot of major companies out there that we have to compete with, and they bring on a lot of new clients, and they have a model that moves a lot of them out the door. And I do not have that sales force, so when I get a client, it's very important to me that my retention rate is astronomical,
right.
And we are an order of magnitude better than the majors relative to our retention rate of keeping our clients and keeping them happy.
Right.
And that's part of just being part of the community and being involved in the community and trying to be listening when they say, hey, I'm needing this or I want this, and it's being close enough to them.
Quickly, list a lot of the services that you provide, because it's not just payroll.
And one of the things we're doing now is when I started PayrollPlus in 1996, we were really a timekeeping payroll processing company. And that's really what we did. We processed payroll, we kept the time, we paid all the taxes and did the W-2s and all this general stuff relative to payroll. What is happening in the industry now, and you'll see a lot of roll-ups. There are 3 IPOs in the industry nationwide last year. We've got a lot of competition. There's a lot of money getting thrown at the industry. But what they're doing is now the buzzword is human capital management. It's not timekeeping, it's payroll. It's timekeeping, it's payroll. Now, hey, maybe I want to do applicant tracking, or maybe I want to do online onboarding, right? I mean, you're hiring 30 or 50 people a week. You can't have them fill out a W-4.
Right.
You want to send them a link and say, fill out all your forms, we'll see you on Monday.
Right.
And then all that dumps right into our system and stuff like that. So we'll do onboarding, we'll do benefits enrollment, online enrollment. So even a small company, it's not a big deal to say, hey, we get a new benefit provider, here's your options, what do you want to do? Well, when you have a large company, and when I say large, generally it picks up right around 50 to 100. They start to say, well, we really would rather do all that, have these people make those selections online. So we do online enrollment, and then it's all an HRIS system, or tying the HR into that whole piece and giving them a real strong system for them to keep all their data for their employees.
Right.
And so again, it's not just payroll and processing, timekeeping. Now it's what they'd say human capital management and everything from the time you hire that employee until they're terminated or leave the company.
I know I keep telling them to let you go, but I can't help it because I love talking with you.
Thank you.
You did something this year or last year that I've been talking to people about. No secret, I'm a small business broker. I help people buy and sell small businesses. And one of the things we talk about is the new modern way to grow isn't just organic, but it's also to buy an existing business. Yeah. You did that. You got some advice for some people that have done that?
Well, there's 2 ways to do it. It is obviously organic growth is how PayrollPlus. I got to tell you what, PayrollPlus grew organically for 18 straight years. And then we did an acquisition. As many people know, it was a result of a problem that particular company had. I ended up buying it out of the federal bankruptcy. And in those 2 years, because it really took 2 years to fully implement and have the revenue adequately hit my balance, but after 18 years of growth, we grew 60% in 2 years.
Right.
And after that was all over, people would go, hey, if you could grow 60% in the next 2 years, I said, no, I'm okay, right? I'm good.
That's not easy to do.
No, but the thing is, keep focusing on the customer. That's really what I try to do, is look at what we're doing, and my staff knows that I don't process payroll anymore, but I do all the policies, procedures, and everything that is customer facing. So how do we keep focusing on the customer, so when the customer has their experience, how do we make that experience great? And frankly, we have some competitors that you get on their platform and you're a number, and so we can really differentiate ourselves by really focusing. And so, when I go out to this event today, a lot of those people are my customers that I've built over 20 years. So,
absolutely.
And the chamber has really been the core of making that happen. And it's then building the relationships that allow you to grow into Charlotte and grow into Cabarrus County and grow into Lincoln County and Catawba. And next thing you know, you're in Greensboro and Hickory and stuff. And so that's how we've kind of spread out over the years. And it's been a very rewarding experience. It's not without its challenges.
Sure.
There's another frustration. And I always love saying it is when I tell my staff or I tell other business people who are just starting, I go, you know what? If you like the way things are going, stay humble, because in 3 days it's going to change.
Yeah.
All right? But if you don't like the way things are going, have hope, because in 3 days it's going to change. And you just got to get used to that roller coaster, and that's part of the fun of being an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the time.
appreciate
I know
having me.
your wife is waiting for you,
She
so I
is.
cannot ask any more questions.
No, I appreciate it, and thanks for having me on.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
Talk to you soon.